Communal eating in Asia isn't just about sharing food, it's about sharing rhythm, health, and a little bit of self control disguised as politeness. When a group of friends or family sits down around a big hot pot, a lazy Susan full of small plates, or a spread of shared dishes, something magical happens. You naturally eat slower. You pick up a little of this, a little of that, wait your turn, chat in between bites, and by the end of the meal, you've eaten a wide variety of foods without even realizing you've avoided overeating. It's like portion control without calorie counting, enforced not by apps or diet plans, but by chopsticks, conversation, and social etiquette. Contrast that with much of Europe, where the plate lands in front of you like a culinary personal challenge. A mountain of pasta, a steak that could double as a doorstop, or a heavy casserole sits on your plate, and the unspoken expectation is, this is yours. Finish it. Yes, it's social to gather for dinner, but once the food arrives, the individual serving dominates. You either conquer it all, or you leave a guilty pile of leftovers staring back at you. That model encourages speed and competition with yourself, while the Asian style encourages pacing and patience. It's the difference between running a sprint and taking a scenic stroll. Health-wise, the Asian approach has clear advantages. Eating slower allows your body to actually register fullness before you've eaten too much. With shared dishes, you don't automatically get double portions of starch, fat, and meat piled high in front of you. Instead, you might nibble on a bit of fish, some greens, a spoonful of rice, a dumpling or two, all spread out over time. By the time you realize you're full, you've had a colorful, balanced meal rather than a single oversized main drowning in sauce. Europeans may value their hearty servings, but hearty often translates to heavy, and heavy tends to sit in your stomach like an anchor. The funny thing about communal eating is that it makes overeating almost socially awkward. Imagine grabbing all the dumplings before anyone else has had a chance. Or hogging the chicken pieces from a shared dish. You'd get looks, maybe even a nudge. The culture itself nudges you toward moderation and fairness, which doubles as built-in health control. In Europe, no one looks at you funny if you demolish your own lasagna and then eye someone else's. In Asia, though, the act of eating together trains you to think of balance, variety, and sharing, which in turn teaches portion restraint without you even trying. There's also the joy of variety in shared meals. Instead of committing to one giant plate of schnitzel or spaghetti carbonara, communal dining lets you sample 6 or 7 different flavors. That naturally means more vegetables, more colors, and more nutrients on the table. European meals are delicious but often focus on one-star dish with supporting bread or potatoes. Asian communal dining spreads the attention, so every food group gets an invite. Your immune system probably claps quietly in the background as you reach for bok choy after a piece of fish. And then there's the social rhythm of it all. In Asia, meals stretch out, with people talking, laughing, waiting, and letting digestion keep up with the eating. In Europe, meals can also be long and festive, especially in Mediterranean cultures, but the food itself is less likely to be physically shared. You have your plate, I have mine, and while we chat, we both plow through. In Asia, you're always waiting for the next dish to be passed, or carefully turning the lazy Susan so grandma can reach the mushrooms. It keeps you present, slows you down, and makes overeating almost impossible unless you're determined to look like a food thief. And the humor here is that modern diet culture in the West has caught on to this idea, rebranding it as mindful eating. Slow down, chew, savor, share. Nutritionists preach these as modern wisdom. Meanwhile, Asian cultures have been doing this for thousands of years without calling it anything fancy. It's just dinner. You don't need meditation music or a dietitian. You just need a table full of relatives arguing over who gets the last piece of fish. So in the end, communal eating in Asia wins points not just for culture, but for health. It teaches moderation, builds variety, and sneaks portion control into every chopstick lift. European dining is grand and flavorful, but sometimes a little too generous, like a host who insists you must eat until you can't stand. Asian communal dining, on the other hand, is like a gentle friend who says, "Here, have a little of everything, don't rush, and don't forget to leave some for the others." It's healthier, more social, and a lot more fun. And maybe that's why after a big Asian feast, people are still laughing and chatting, while after a big European one, someone is usually lying on the couch pretending to nap, but actually digesting for dear life.